Nobody gonna die today. That's right, guys. It's the breakfast show. It's that time of the day. And guess what? We are joined in the studios this morning by two of my lovely colleagues here. We've got the one and only Hepsi Bar. You see with a Love School t-shirt, yeah?
Good morning, breakfast show talkers.
and we've got Joseph Xavier.
Good morning.
See, I can say your name like that, and then you speak differently. I don't know, maybe I'm expecting a Spanish deep like alto voice. I don't know, but Joseph Xavier, and you're like, good morning. Anyway, it's all right. It's okay. All right, it's all about relationships today. It's Relationship Thursday. We're on the breakfast shows. We've tweaked our schedule a bit, and we're gonna go straight into it because I know we couldn't go through today without having the morning. Oh, father. The morning coffee question. That's right, guys. It's that part of the show where we tap into the deepest orifices of your thinking, your cranium, to see what your thoughts are. All right. And during the time that was playing Changed just a moment ago by Jordan Feliz, we posted the question on our live chat that if you like someone, how would you let them know? All right. That's what we're asking today. And I know that even Joseph was like, what kind of a question is this? But it's important, isn't it, right, Hepzibah?
Absolutely. Totally important.
Why?
Because if you want to let someone know, no, I won't go into that. Just wait. Let it go out there first. Let it go out there.
Yeah, so I mean, so because you know, some people might be like, well, how can you ask this question? Yeah, we want to know, because I'll give you an example. I'll give you my case. I'll give you my situation. When I was a single man, all right, and my thing was this is that you had three versions of me. You had the version of me that got buried, right, on the cross, right, and crucified on the cross, right. So you had this new version of me that had a passion for God, etc. But love life, because of my passion for God, love life was not a priority, and I didn't want it, didn't need it. It's just an emotional interference that would get in my way. All right, that's how I saw it. However, then coming to the love therapy, which I stumbled in by accident because of VYG, a task that we had to do afterwards to prepare stuff, I started to have a change of mind. And then what happened is I understood that it's something very important, and anything else that I would do for God, I would do very boldly. I didn't understand what it is to be shy. I didn't know what it is to be timid. That was something that also got crucified on the cross with the old guy. Hey. So the moment I made that decision that, all right, this is something who I'm going to spend the rest of my life with, will exist, and is important, my attitude was this: I will let you know.
Hey, straight up.
Straight up. I would literally just say to you, I like you. Hey. Or there's levels, right? Mm-hmm. So it'll be a thing of observation. Mm-hmm. To see if the person has the fruits that I'm looking for, to see how their spiritual conduct is, right? Because that tells me a lot about them. So there's the observation period. Then once the observation period is good, and I remember I went to the pastor that time, and I told him about my wife Nicola, and most people in our VYG, you know what they were like? If they like someone, they will try to keep it undercover. He's like, oh no, don't tell the pastor. Like, no, I was just gonna, just do your thing. Like, try to be clever, right? Every single one of them, they're all gone. Yeah, I'm telling you, and it's always been in a really bad way. I really feel sad about when I watched it happen. By that time, you're going through the process. You don't know better, but the fear of your own soul, the fear of taking care of what you've built in your spiritual life, makes you be cautious. And when I told the pastor, he was like, he had a smile from here to here. He was like, you like Nicola? I remember Miss Chris, you like Nicola? I remember Pastor Richard. Pastor Richard used to be very serious. You like Nicola? And my thing was, I don't know what to do. In my that old human being that existed, that's dead now, was a mess, right? And what do I do? Right? And he goes, talk to her, let her know. So I was like, okay. So guess what I did? I wrote her a poem. I wrote her a poem because I spent a long time observing her, right? So by this time, and so I wrote her a poem expressing my thoughts, how I feel, not exactly too mushy, but just prospects in terms of God and stuff like that. And also I said, yeah, it's for you.
you
So
remember
go through. Sorry, just go because you said that you went through observation. What's the other three things you went through?
So it was observation. Then it was inquiries from third parties, like inquiry from a mom, inquiry from the pastor, whichever, which led to me asking what to do, right? And then obviously then was action. Then was action. So and it's like there's no like like there's none of that. It's just is what it is. No feelings, no emotion, just the objective, right? Because a new life taught me that. So when I liked her, that's what I would do. That's how I was. Oh, by the way, you could send a voice note if you want to share your morning coffee question answer, which is what's up line. Oh, sorry, what's up line, which is plus 44 75 79 79 6845. Yeah, so look, so that's the thing. I wasn't timid, I wasn't afraid, because that was my enemy. Being timid was my enemy. That was the enemy to my progress. That's why that's probably the reason why I probably do presenting, because I hate timidity, right? So that was me. So if I like someone, that was what I would do. Well, in my case, I literally gave her a poem and said exactly what my thoughts were.
We've got a few people who've given their feedback on the chat.
Okay,
we'll go through it.
The morning coffee question answer.
So Bobby Louise says, I would tell them outright, for the simple fact that I would want them to know I'm sincere.
Yes.
And openness is key in any relationship.
Drop it like it's hot.
So that's Bobby Louise. We've also got, she continues, and I would ask them to pray on it, as I would too.
But I want to say huge good morning to Miriam and also to Oyin. Thank you for joining us, Oyin. Good to have you on the show with us. Lovely. Yep, continue. So that was Bobby Louise.
Yeah, that's Bobby Louise. You got Pranjal. He said that he would tell Pastor.
Says like, Pastor, I like this one here. This one, yes, this one. But then what's your next move? So you tell Pastor. Okay, all right, cool. Yeah.
Esther says you wouldn't let them know.
Hey, Esther.
Shalima Karoma says,
Esther's saying that to Pranjal. Okay.
Shalima says, I could be wrong, but I think for girls it's different. Is that true?
In what way, Shalima? You've got to expand on that one, because given that, I think I like what Robert said about the old self. And last week, in the Love Therapy, we talk about we come to the Love Therapy shows and we hear all the messages and we stay stuck. So please expand on what you're saying there, Shalima.
Janet actually has a question for you, Miss Esteban. How would you let someone know? Esteban. How would I let them know? They would know by my uncomfortableness and my stumbling in their presence.
Okay.
I could string a sentence together, so I couldn't just say.
Okay, so I mean, like what Robert said, but even in my own self now, as I be honest and be open to tell you the truth, the fact that I wouldn't tell them straight away, the first and foremost thing is obviously to pray about it and ask God for, the direction that is that if you do something that, you want to show that you like someone, but they don't reciprocate, then it's like, okay, no, then God is not the one. That's how I work on it.
Okay, all right. I mean, Joseph, I mean, thank you so much for your answer, Jeanette. That's a really sincere and honest answer. All right, and you couldn't just say. I mean, as a guy, these are my thoughts, right? Actually, no. Let's hear your thoughts. No, my thoughts. If a lady was stumbling wherever, I will give some leeway because it is quite shocking, and it'd be part of the observation to see if you're gonna come back. Because one of the things I remember, Nicola, she would be like, she wasn't as forward as me, and so it felt like sometimes I'm having to pull her out to be like, speak. This is the earlier version. That's not so. Do you understand? With less filters. Right? It's the earlier version of Robert 1.0 with less filters, right? But it's like, speak. Yeah, talk. Please open your heart. Speak. Yes. Oh, that's already intimidating.
Put her in a corner. You put her right in a corner.
Well, because she was so. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
But then there were times when she would come forward, and that would impress me.
Right.
Because that shows she's overcoming herself.
Yeah.
And you need someone who overcomes themselves to build a future together.
Yeah, but
that's
then,
how that, in my head.
Of course, and also you don't know that really until that relationship, you start having that conversation, because you're both different entities, and
Yeah.
so when you come together, then you're going to build on that.
Yeah.
I think the purity of it all helps you to build on it, because you say, I can work with this.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Like, and
That's
I
right.
hear equipment like, yeah, I can dismantle this and work with this, but not want to change it. Do you
That's
know what
right.
I mean?
Absolutely. All right, what else we got there?
Esther says, tell pastor or pastor's wife.
Okay.
Tell them straight.
Okay. All right, and that's how, and what the pastor's going to tell the person. Like, how would you let them know? Like, how would they know? Have you seen that TikTok? How would they know? They'll never know. How would they know? They'll never know.
Yeah. I think, well, in terms of what Esther's saying here, I think that's the kind of, for someone who wants to do things properly.
That's right.
And
First
to be
step.
open.
First step.
And, do you get what I mean? It's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's good.
So that means that we want to know the next layer. How would you let them know? Is it that you're going to let the pastor speak to them? How would you let them know? Yep. Go ahead, my friend.
We have Monica.
You forgot Diane Price.
Oh, sorry. Oh,
what's wrong with
please
you?
Forgive me.
Yes.
I would observe them, and I would go and speak with pastor, and then I would let the person know with permission of the pastor, so that there would be nothing hidden.
So what would you do? Would you do chocolate and strawberry for the guy? Would you, like, how would you work it? But I mean, that's the process. That's a sensible process. That's like Diane. I know Diane personally, and she's a soldier. She's a legend. She's been around for time. Do you know what I mean? That's why she's still around. You see the process. You see, where else we got there?
Shalima here, she says,
Please don't miss out people when they communicate, please, because this is their show, you know.
All right,
Yeah,
I'm
thank
sorry.
you. Esther. Okay, you got
Yeah,
one.
I've done Esther. Monica again. When I was dating, I have never had the confidence to tell someone I like them. However, now with my new understanding, I will approach them and tell them.
Yes.
Shalima goes ahead and she says, if a girl lets a guy know she likes him, wouldn't it put the guy off, as he'd want to do the approaching / hunting? I thought if a guy likes someone, then he'd come out and approach the girl.
That's generally the case. In most cases, because I was speaking to one of my colleagues, and he was saying that a man always knows straight away that that's going to be his wife. And that was quite interesting. Whenever I've spoken to most men, they've always known that woman, that girl is going to be the one that I want to marry. And
Wow.
I
Male
need to
instinct.
do it. Yeah, exactly.
Male instinct.
So the hunt. So I mean, it depends.
Sorry.
But men generally know. So he's got a point, because like if he's that macho man, I want to hunt. I want to do this myself. So that can come true.
Shalima actually continues. Sorry, she says, so if a guy doesn't approach the girl, he's probably not that interested. Maybe the girls can just tell the pastor or the pastor's wife, and they will put in a good word for them. So
You really, Shalima doesn't want to get involved. Like, like maybe it's the fear of rejection. Could be. It could be. Diane put something here as well. She says, I would ask them to join in and pray, so God would be in the middle. So she would approach them and like say, look, God, like, let's pray about it. You know what I mean? That's the sign, right? That's the sign. That's the guy's sign, and be like, okay. And I think the reaction to that would be, if he's like banana about it, like if I was a woman, I'm just saying, right? I don't know why women work, but if I was a woman and I saw a guy who's like a bit wobbly, I'd be like, my friend, okay, God bless you. Do you understand? Those are my thoughts, maybe because of my characteristic, my personality type. If I was a woman version, I don't know, but I think this is quite good. And this is quite a sincere morning coffee question. We're getting some nice answers here.
Yeah, I know. But back to what Miss Hester was saying about the guy's instinct.
Yes, the man instinct.
Yes, the man instinct. What's your guys' view on that?
What was yours actually? What you and you? Yeah. Now you're Mr. Man. What was your view when you sort of hunting?
I completely agree.
Oh, there you go.
In the sense that, generally when a guy knows, not just in terms of love life, but when he knows what he wants, he knows that that's what he's going to get. Right. Do you get what I mean? So, in my case in particular, it was the exact same thing. They got a time similar to Robert. I was very like, spiritual life, this love life thing's just going to make me fall. But, I got to a point where I had to actually realize and be like, okay, hold on. This is not the way to think. And there's actually a friend of mine who said, oh, look, I know you're not looking to get into a relationship with anyone, but come to the love therapy.
Yeah.
Come and, invest, see it as your marriage with God. And for me, that was like, he was very smart in the way that he went about it, because he knew I was like, I wasn't going to budget. But that idea of, my marriage with God. So, that's how I started coming. And then, for some, as I came, my mentality started to be broken down. That if I can say, religious way of thinking had to be done away with.
Wow.
And I had to realize that actually, no, God does want to bless my love life.
And did you approach her? How did you approach her?
So one day I was just, I was just praying, and then just this boldness to just go and speak.
You had her in your sight.
I had
hunter mode.
She was in my sight. She was someone that.
What did she do to get in your sight?
Do you know what? I tell her this all the time. But for me, when I saw her, she was very well put together.
Yeah.
She was
well put together.
She had, decent clothes. Dressed well. Hair was tied back. Glasses. Yeah. So she seemed that quite intellectual.
Takes care of herself.
Yeah. She
Clever,
looked like that. She wasn't the kind of person that anyone could just come and speak, and anyone can just. And for me, that intrigued me. Yeah. So when I was on the hunt, she came to my mind, because it's like, this is the caliber of person that I want. I don't want just I want somebody who I know, or is giving me signs of characteristics that is well put together, someone who looks after themselves. And one day I just summed up the courage, and I went there, and I was like, oh, well, my wife's name is Meredith. I was like, oh, your name is Meredith, right? I already knew this. And then she was like, yeah. And then I was like, oh, okay, how long have you been coming to love therapy? She was like, 2 years. And in my head, I was like, wow, because I've been coming for 2 years as well. But then the other thought came, so if you've been coming for 2 years, are you interested in anyone? Because 2 years is a long time.
That's right.
And then she was like, no. And I was like, so you mean to tell me you've just been coming here just to invest in yourself? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, what have I stumbled across today? What's going on? So for me, all of those, that first conversation gave me a lot of insight as to the kind of mindset that she had. And it was very similar to mine. I was coming to love therapy, but I was working on my relationship with God, and she was doing the exact same thing. And then that conversation was very brief, because, I said after, okay, all right, thank you. All right, thanks. And then she was like, is that it? And I was like, yeah, that's it. She took her bags, she likes carrying a lot of bags. She just walked off.
It's a woman thing.
Yeah. But, that kind of, I saw from that first initial conversation that she
stood out for you.
She stood out. She had something in her that was like, wow, yeah, this one is.
So there you go.
different.
Men on the hunt know what they want, and they go and they strike.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
and I think if we did a survey, that's exactly what you'll find, that men want to hunt.
Yeah.
And, that hunting process, it's like that line. There's a clip where there's a cat, and then there's the lion. So, they're not.
Yeah,
they're lions.
it's true. And I think that's with all men, whether they're secular, whether they are, in the faith.
Yeah.
And that means if we're hunt, that means we're looking for the right prey.
Yeah.
And I think that's where it comes to the importance of a person taking care of themselves first, investing in themselves. Look, this is turned into a different thing with the morning coffee question. I think this is how it's going to be on Thursdays with the morning coffee question, guys. We had some breakfast show talkers there, right? Just to finish up, we need to wrap it up because we've got the next part.
Nanji says, I would be too afraid to do anything.
Oh, Nanji, come on.
Nanji, let's go. Oyin, as a girl, can't lie, I wouldn't. LOL. I agree with Shalima. So, Janet from Nottingham, fantastic. Joseph, when you do it the right way. Doing it the right way is very important.
Absolutely.
Because then you have those conversations and you have those moments, you have those memorable moments, like when you get those moments you have with your relationship. Those are things that are drop down. Boom, that's a drop down. The low down, like this is why I wanted her. This is why she's here.
Yeah.
This is why we're working this thing together.
Exactly.
And that's what makes it so powerful.
And what's interesting, it's logical. It's not emotional, right?
It's not blind.
It's not blind. It's logical. There's the feelings kind of what I perceive is is different. And Diane says, that's our Meredith. All right. But anyway, guys, you know, that was the morning coffee question for today. I think maybe Thursday's ones won't have a definite answer because there's so much. There's so much here.
It's so deep, really.
It's so deep. And I think we've learned from everybody's opinions and what everybody's been sharing with us today. In the meantime, I neglected the Breakfast Show WhatsApp line. Okay, I neglected the Breakfast Show WhatsApp line. I know I need to change my life. So we had Miriam who shared something. Well, actually, we had Nosofo first who said, well, I think I would definitely pray, because we did ask the question, if you like someone, how would you let them know? She says, I would definitely pray about it as a lady, do my observations, then inquire by us also speaking to my pastor. From there, I would take the advice of the pastor from that moment on. If the pastor says speak, well, then I would do that. I like that. I like, because sometimes guys, they're hunting, but they're in the wrong direction. And you know what I mean? You just need to be like, I am here.
That's right.
Yes,
but in a way that's not so.
In a way that's not so, like, you know, like,
I need ya.
Yes, come now. What are you waiting for? What? I want to pray with you. What are you waiting for? Don't look there. Look here. Okay, that's something else. So I don't think anyone in their right mind would do that. We also have Miriam. Let's go, Miriam. Let's hear what you got to say. Here we go.
Good morning, Breakfast Faithful. Miriam here all the way from Namibia.
Wow.
Today's question is very interesting and at the same time very tough from us women. You know, we women are not handlers. So probably if I find myself in this situation, I will use 3 tips. My first one is to find out if there is a mutual connection right there.
Okay.
And secondly, I will approach pastor.
Good.
And ask pastor if the person is single or if he's seeing someone. And then thirdly, I will use body language. That's what I will do.
Body language. I like that one. You drop it like, yeah, you know, because sometimes it's like, hey, I'm here, but it's like, sometimes it's like, yeah, I'm mopping the auditorium.
Yeah. It's the eye.
That sounds interesting, isn't it? Going the whole thing about guys being the predator, like hunter kind of thing, right, Hepzibah?
It is true.
Yeah, look, Hepzibah's talking about it. You see, you're giving that eye look. All right, okay, Mijuli, okay, you had something there. Okay, Shazad says, sorry, I'm at work. Okay, no worries, bro. It's all good. Don't worry, it's all good. All right, guys. So anyway, I had to acknowledge those ones that were sent just now. Absolutely phenomenal, guys. Our Breakfast Show talkers, because we're balancing everything that was going on there. Did I miss anything?
Yeah, we got Janet. Actually, wait. Annabelle says good morning. She's on her way to work.
Yes,
on the program.
That's the spirit.
Janet from Nottingham. People need to recognize the difficulty of relationships. They really take us out of our comfort zone, which is very true.
Yeah.
And then she does go on to say, if I could say something though, men really need to step up.
Yeah.
Men.
Yeah. And you know, it's been a thing from my time, honestly speaking, where I remember that there was one therapy of love that we was in. And this is about relationships. So confidence and going forward evolves all kinds of relationships, not just romantic ones. But I remember, like, you know, sometimes like they would separate the men from the guys, and they would say, okay, look, if you see someone that you like to speak to, go and speak to them. You know what the guys did? They're like this, looking at each other. And I'm just like, I'm seeing this happen around me, and I'm just like, what is going on with these brothers? Don't you see the promised land before you? The promised land is before you. The promise. Anyway, I just go over to Nicola. And it was that kind of thing. So, you know what I mean? It's so men do need to step up, Janet. You're right. And all the men who are listening to the program, women seem to be always moving. Women move things in business. Women moving things in career now, right? And men are taking a step back. I have to say that. I just have to say that. That's what I've observed. Those are my thoughts.
Here's a spanner for the works, because I think, given the way that we are today, I think that we can step up too. So if we find someone that we like, we can actually, because I mean, it's like working with that tool.
That's right.
You have a knife in the kitchen and it's not sharp. What do?
Sharpen it.
You sharpen it. So a good woman will sharpen her man. What does the Proverbs 31 say? she does him no evil all her life.
Ooh.
So if you find
We like
him
that one.
and you
We're
like him,
I'm
and
in
you-
very
you
much of
worked it
support
out.
of you, Hepzibah. I'm in support of you.
So in that way, you're gonna work with that tool, and and he will see that you're not against him, you're with him,
Yeah.
because maybe he's been down pressed and downtrodden for a long time. So our role would be to help him and help him, and using our wisdom that God has given us, because we're not talking to worldly people, we're talking to Christian women, so we can help our men.
Or women who want better for their
Yeah.
relationship life,
Yeah.
isn't it? Just
Yeah.
in general, that's that's it. But the thing is, like, that's it. That's the process, and that's a healthy woman to find with a healthy mindset, right? If it's even biblical, to help him, right? That's really interesting. But we're talking about the initial movement. Like, men step back on the initial movement, you know, and dynamics are changing. I don't know why men behave like this. It's been like that for ages. I won't even say it's something new.
No, it's something that is definitely been prevalent. It's happening. Like, even a singles hour and these kind of things, we see it. We
Wow.
see it. The men, come on, men.
And I remember I was hosting a singles hours event. There was like a lot of people there, and I was hosting it. And literally, you know, when I do like an African type accent, that means I have to stress something, right? So I literally, and I was going like that with the guys in the entrance where we had the whole thing happening. I'm like, man, look here, she is looking at you. Go. And I stood up on the table.
Assistant Robert. That's a calm it down quickly.
Absolutely.
But no, yeah, it's one thing that we as men in general, I think, take that bold step, take that action, because, your life depends on your boldness. Anything that you want.
I like that.
Yeah, anything
your life
that you
depends
want,
on your boldness. I'm going to take that and turn it into a meme.
100%. We can even go in a silly way in terms of, okay, what you're going to eat for breakfast. If you're not, if I can say in somewhat bold enough to go and open the cupboard and pick what cereal you want. Do you get what I mean? It's a silly kind of thing, but what you want requires you to have this bold attitude to take possession of what you want.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? Nothing is going to happen if you're just going to sit down and allow or go with the flow of things. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. Wow. All right, guys. On that note, we're gonna go into something else new for the breakfast show right now. So I think definitely everybody here is a winner for sharing everything that they've given to us today. I think that's absolutely awesome. All right, guys. And guess what? We need to go into the next part of our show, which is. It is going to be we're going to have a reflection on what happened last Thursday in the Love Therapy. All right, this is relationship power on the breakfast show. I'm still getting used to saying this, but anyway, in the meantime, we're going to leave you some smoky Norfolk. Don't go anywhere, because we got some new stuff for you, as it's a Thursday and it's relationship Thursday. I'll meditate on it. All right, guys, it's your breakfast show. We're going to be right back in just a moment, right after this. Enjoy me some smoky Norfolk. Connect online Monday to Friday with special guests for inspiration, motivation to start your morning right. Music, banter, fun and laughter. Connect when you start your mornings with The Breakfast Show. Only on libertyradio.co.uk. That's right, The Breakfast Show is back. libertyradio.co.uk from 6:30 a.m.